Hi guys, very good evening and welcome to the RTP discussion session of the EIS and SM. Now, I do understand today if any of you from the old syllabus, you can still stay along for SM, but if you are really looking at doing the session, we are coming up tomorrow with ITSM's paper. Today I'm going to discuss in this session only the EIS-SM part. So only new syllabus people to whom this EIS-SM is relevant can be there. Yes, good evening to all of you. So slowly people joining in. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes so that everybody are able to join, and then we will quickly start discussing both EIS and SM. There's a long way to discuss out there, so we'll talk about all that. Yes, ma, good evening, good evening. Okay. So this time the RTP is pretty straight and simple. Those of you who are not able to find the RTPs, please go on to the knowledge portal and go to the respective subject. You will be able to find it there. And let us start off with case-based MCQs. I also would want to give you insight today on what sort of questions are being discussed, where you would have to kind of focus on while doing EIS and SM. That's a very important part of our discussion. So we will talk about how we will go ahead with the answering part also little later. First, let's talk about integrated case studies, because that's something that you haven't seen, right? So going on to the RTP, where I can see here the first and foremost question numbers 1 to 4 are based on a case scenario. Question number 5 is independent. Okay, we will see 5 is an independent question, it seems. And on a quick note, what exactly is the case, we will have to understand. I told you most number of times there may not be a real relevance to the case that you are seeing there. It's just a situation that's set up, and then after that situation is set up, questions will be asked in and around them. Okay, so in that case, let's see what exactly is the case. First, I want you to understand what the case is, and then we will try and get back to each one of this. Sweet and Sour is an established food chain. Sweet and Sour is an established food chain with 5 branches. So totally there are 5 branches at different locations within Delhi. In 2018, the management decided to start tiffin services with 24/7 availability on regular basis. To do so, they decided to acquire a software. Now that's exactly where the subject comes in. If somebody is starting a tiffin business, why will they be discussing that in EIS? The reason being that they are acquiring a software. What software? To do so, they decided to acquire a software which would be an online assistant, to its customers, by providing them a complete detail, about their services. The management asked its manager to present them with a report mentioning the benefits, risk control objectives, and above all highlighting any changes that are required in the working of the food chain. Do you really need to make any changes in the existing scenario, or will it be enough to work it like this, is the question that they have asked here. Then the management settled on a plan to benefit all its customers by providing them discounted coupons in case they recommend their services to others and customer, ensuring to provide the food chain of 3 new customers. Also, the management decided for a centralized billing system that mandatorily requires customer name and phone number to be filled for each bill that system generates. To maintain these necessary details of its customers, the data management team of Sweet and Sour implemented major changes in the database design of its billing software. Subsequently, the security and database maintenance has become essential to protect the system and now contains personal details of its customers. Now, what are they going to ask you will be in and around. So, it was the defense center which was running things on manual. They brought in a software. So, I hope you understood what is the surroundings setting. I will also want you guys to answer. Take a guess, or if you know the subject, you can obviously give an answer. The first question being, the software which food chain decided to buy to help the customer and provide them online help falls under which category? Falls under which category? You heard about the software. You know what the software does? Is to acquire a software which would be an online assistant to its customer by providing them a complete detail about their services. So, any takers, are you willing to give the answers? I would want to see people answering in the comment box. That will make it more interesting, like we did for audit. Okay. Come on, can we have more answers? The very reason why many people have not joined today is that they are afraid of the subject. I don't know why. Yes, very good, fantastic. It is artificial intelligence. What normally a human being will do is now being done by a system. So, yes, the first and foremost answer is artificial intelligence, no doubt about it. All of you who are giving answer as A, that is the correct answer. Then let's move on to question number 2. The manager of food chain prepared a document wherein he depicted various business processes with the help of the food chain in a diagrammatic form. Which of the following diagram will he use to present a predefined process? Predefined process. Now, A and B, you can see the boxes. A is a simple rectangle. B is a kind of an elongated circle, you can say. C is a box with a couple of lines, and D is a rhombus. A predefined process. Yes, Masarita, that's the correct answer. Yes, Singari is also right. Yes, most of you are right. The parallel, the parallel lines that are there. So the answer is C. C will be the answer for the second question. There is no doubt about that. No, not A. Second one, many people gave A as the answer. No, it's C. Yeah, C is the answer for all predefined process. It's just go through all the boxes that are there in the first chapter. Though drawing flowchart is one part of the story, in the first chapter I want you to just take a look at all the boxes. That will definitely help you understanding this. Third question is a very straight one. The data management team of Sweet and Sugar Food Chain was working to implement changes in the database design of its billing software. So they want to make a slight changes. Which of the following person will carry routine data maintenance and monitor this task? Okay, Venkat. Third one. Yes, Payal, that's also good. Yes, third one answer is C, who is called database analyst. No, Pavitra, that's okay. You're telling the second one is A. Okay, you might be watching the third one is not A. Third one is C. Database administrator who has the power to make the entire changes, or who holds the security to the database. but database analyst is the one who monitors and he is the one who takes care on a day-to-day basis. So slight change. Please understand the task or job role of each of these people. I guess the next one is easy because you know what is the section number. The management of sweet and sugar has shown concern. What would happen if any of its employees dishonestly make use of personal information of customer? Which section? I have highlighted so many times in class about this particular section. Which section of the Information Technology Act? SPDI, Sensitive Personal Data or Information. It is there in the first chapter. It is also there in the fifth chapter. In core banking also they have told you. Which section? Section? No. Some people are getting caught up. It's not. Okay, let me see. Many more people are answering. Yes, good. Come on, let me see many more of you to answer this one. No. Fourth one is not B. Fourth one is A. 43A. Section 43A is for punishing body corporates. Okay. If there's a body corporate who is disclosing SPDI, who is not maintaining reasonable security practices, punishment is prescribed under the IT Act under section 43A. This is there in the first chapter. This is also there in the fifth chapter. So you might want to take care of that. I see only 4 or 5 people are answering. I know, the very reason I didn't conduct quiz on EIS is also this only. Many people have requested saying that, we'll do it in the first week of October. Keep postponing and then one fine day everything will pile up. Don't do that. It's a fairly simple subject if you can kind of focus. Okay, fifth one is an independent question they said. So, MIS, the Management Information System of SVE Limited develops, I guess people know what MIS feature is, and identify which type of report an MIS gives. This is a word that they exactly picked out from your book. This one's there in the second chapter, and MIS is helpful for generating dash reports. It's a straight out of the book kind of a question. I would want people to give me the answer for 5. Question number 5 is easy. There shouldn't be any issue for you to answer. Yes, Payal, you are right. What's up, guys? Why is it taking so long? It's a very simple statement. It's there straight out of your book. Yes, very good. To the extent I've seen the answers, all answers are right. Answer to the 5th question is D. Very good. Everybody who have given the answer as D is correct, because MIS, the major capability of the main capability of MIS is to generate on-demand reports. As and when the manager requests for a report, MIS will be able to give you that report. So that's why MIS is a great form of report generation abilities are very high. So these are the kind of questions that are going to come in an integrated case-based scenario. So please be very clear about what to deal with. 15 marks are there in MCQs, and in a subject like EIS, where you feel your writing skills are slightly bad, or you kind of feel that I might not be able to express myself correctly, it's a great way to score. 15 here and 15 there. So, back then this used to be a problem for a lot of people, as it was in ITSM. Ask the old syllabus people, they had a 100-mark descriptive thing, and how much ever they write, sometimes they were not able to, make up to the marks. So, for you guys, anyway, starting from May 2019, that's when MCQs were introduced, 30 marks. The scoring in this paper also has gone high. In the last live session, I spoke about how scoring in audit went really high. People are able to score 85, 90 in that range in audit, which was never seen before. Now, last attempt, not the May one because it didn't happen, the one before that, I have had somebody who scored 82 in EIS-SM. Forget about audit. Okay, audit still there's a scope. Earlier people used to score that much. But EIS, and people have scored in 70s. So it is very much achievable. Every attempt at least I will have 2 people who cross 80, which is a great benchmark to cross. And what is their secret of doing that? And that has happened only in the last couple of attempts. Okay, not before that. Before it, if somebody used to get 70s in EIS-SM, back in the very first attempt of the new syllabus, May 18, somebody got 72, 75, it's like very good, very elated, happy, so that they're crossing 70s. In the old syllabus, if somebody crosses 60 itself, I used to feel very happy. That unless they've done a very decent performance, you won't get an exemption that easily in ITSM. Now, scoring has improved so much. All it requires is your concentration. See, now in these bits also, random guess might not work. So if you know that line in the second chapter, now I can, of course, I've been teaching it for quite some time now, so I remember that on so and so topic in so and so page in this paragraph you will go and find that line, because I've made that line a highlighted line so many times in class. I told that please go underline that on demand reports. So like that 43A, SPDI, these are all easy ways to score, but only thing is, will it click in the exam hall is a challenge. So if it has to click, then you have to be very thorough with the basics. Now let us also look at the questions or the kind of questions that they are asking. First chapter, slighter changes have been made. I don't know those of you who in May 2020 for that attempt which didn't happen, there were so many amendments that were made for May 2020. If somebody has studied it for the first time in November 2020, already your respective faculty would have covered it with the amendments only, so no tension. But those of you who studied for November 19 and then were willing to appear in May 20, there were a lot of changes. The ones who studied for May 20 and November 20, you don't have to worry because your faculty would have taught with the amendments. But the ones who studied before that, May 19, November 19, those guys who still were willing to write and didn't write the 2020 attempt yet, there are some changes compared to the 19 book to the 20 book. So if any of you are from there, please note those amendments. I hope by now you would have already done that, or in the YouTube search bar, go and click as amendments, EIS amendments by Harish. You will find my list, my video which explains all the amendments that took place if you haven't watched that. Okay, 5 chapters, so let's keep things to the easiest here. ERM is a framework that identifies risk and opportunities to protect the business and create the value for stakeholders including owners, customers, regulators and society. There are 5 components of the ERM. It's a straight out of the book question. First chapter, very easy. What is BPA, advantage of BPA, ERM, components of ERM. Then, okay, see, look, this could be a very easy way to score marks. Draw a flow chart. An e-commerce site has following cashback offers and then the if and then conditions. So calculate the customer's discount. All of them who have attended my class, I have solved this problem in class. Others who haven't, again, I have 2 videos of flowchart on YouTube on our tuition.in channel, which are again available for watching. So those of you who thought flowcharts are useless, we will skip them up. It is given in the RTP. Now I don't know whether it will come in the exam or not, but like MCQs, flowchart is also one question where you can get full marks. So if they give you that flowchart for 5 or 6 marks, there is easy way of scoring that 5 to 6 marks in full. So please make sure that you do flowcharts. Otherwise, it will be a little tedious task for you to kind of give up that in the exam. Okay. So this flowchart is a very simple one. It's an if and then condition one. Initial discount of 5% and initial discount of 10% if it's through website and phone app. If it's done any other purchase, no. So if the answers to first 2 are no, then discount D will also be 0. Extra 10 reward points if it's between 100 and 200, then further plus another discount. So you have one more internal condition box. It's a very easy flowchart to draw. You can always try and do that. So please practice flowcharts. Chapter 2 they have given only a couple of questions. The RTP has only a couple of questions from every chapter, but every chapter is so elaborate. Characteristics of cloud-based application, the topic on cloud computing, or how does a cloud-based application work? What is a cloud-based application? So that's something which is there very much in the beginning. So, and concepts from ERP. Okay, like here, identify the functional module of ERP that controls the business flow in the organizations and facilitate coordinating, monitoring and optimizing all processes, and elaborate the key features of this module. Now, there is a particular module called the controlling module. Okay, so when you say the controlling module, it connects all the modules that are there in the ERP. In fact, in the RTP they asked you about controlling module, but there are 11 modules in the ERP. Study that topic and go. That's a very easy way to, another short question from there, because it's a wide topic. At least one question can always be expected from that. Now a lot of people have a panic with respect to the third chapter, because the extent of controls is so much. Sometimes people may not understand what to study and go. So let's talk about that in 3 parts. Part 1 is all information system components, where you have people, hardware, software. That's one part. Split it like that. Part 2 is all the controls. Now in controls also, not every control is something that you have to by heart. Physical, logical, environmental, these are easy. Preventive, detective, corrective. What kind of can be twisted is the managerial controls and application controls. Those two, you should kind of make a chart. If you go onto my Instagram, you will find those charts already. Please scroll through the feed. All charts for that controls and their understanding is already there. You can kind of see that. So let's see what are the couple of questions they asked here. Share and care is a multinational FMCG. They want to set up a data warehouse, elaborate the benefits of, all the share and care, FMC, all this is nonsense. What they are asking you is, elaborate the benefits of data warehouse. That's it. It's a straight question. 5 points are there. This was newly added. Define a data warehouse and what are the benefits of a data warehouse. So it's a straight out of the book question, and it's added newly. This point was not there earlier. So what are all those changes that they newly made? They can always ask you questions from that. Logical access controls. Various technical exposures. You know what are the technical exposures? Anybody who wants to type technical exposures in the comment box? Let's see if you remember any technical exposures. Anybody? Technical exposures, guys, are very easy. Do you want me to give you a start? But then you will easily type the rest if I give you a start. The catch is in identifying what those are. Okay, I still don't see any answers. Technical exposures. Okay, finally somebody is typing up. Pavitra, what is that? Ma bomb. Huh. Guys, 7 of those technical exposures: data diddling, Trojan horse, worms. Okay, yeah, Christmas card is an example of Trojan horse. It's a virus. So yes, bombs, worms, Trojan horses, trapdoors, rounding down, salami technique. Yes, that's it, very good. So those are called technical exposures. Either those technical exposures or the other one, those 4 asynchronous attacks. Okay, data leakage, wiretapping, piggybacking, those can be asked. So, and then also please do bother about the logical controls part. User access control, user management control, operating system control. Like that, there are so many controls in place. So that part, you can always see, because many times questions have come from logical access control. Because physical and environmental, just give it a reading. Physical, locks on doors. Okay, and then we have physical identification medium. Then others like CCTV, dead man doors, a list of physical access control. Environmental, you have fire, water. So that part is easy. Take one part at a time and read it, guys. Don't read the entire third chapter. That will be a little stressful. In my other video also on how to prepare, there is a video that I made on strategy for EIS and SM. In fact, that is for both old and new syllabus. Everything has been made there. How to start. Those of you who are watching this who are still confused on how to start something in EIS, SM, what to do in revision, please go down to that video and watch. I have told there, once again I am quickly telling, chapters 1 to first you finish these. Then jump to the fourth chapter, because e-commerce and digital payments are very easy. You can finish them fast. And then individual concepts. Virtualization, grid computing, cloud computing. Only those three are slightly bigger. Rest all, small mobile computing, Internet of Things, web, green computing, bringing own devices to work. That part can be analyzed. Then come to the third chapter. Do these three parts. Slowly towards the end, depending on the time adjustments you have, you can go to the fifth chapter and take a cues of what you want to do. That is something that you can do and manage around. Okay. On that note, let us see what questions came from chapter 4 into this. Ms. Nisha has set up a home tiffin service along with a business partner, Ms. Seema. Nisha is not convinced her business partner, Ms. Seema, is certain to adopt a digital mode of payment than a traditional mode. Now they just asked you very straight and simple question. Whatever Miss Nisha and Seema are doing ridiculous is, that's not the question. The question is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of digital payments? It's a straight out of the book question. 3 advantages, as far 3 or 4 advantages are there, and couple of disadvantages are also there, that we have access to all the money that is there in our accounts, which may result in overspending. So, and advantages are like you don't have to maintain a record, you will get an electronic passbook of all the transactions and all. So, very easy question to be asked in the exam. And as I told you, just what is BYOD, bringing your own devices to work, and risks they are asking. 4 risks are there in BYOD, right? Device loss. You're bringing your own device to work, but that device contains all the critical information of the organization, and if you lose that, so that could be a challenge. So like that, there are some problems with bringing down the own devices to work also. So that also needs attention. That's our point to be understood. And then core banking systems, 2 questions down there. Explain the various stages involved in deployment and implementation. 10 stages are there. I have always marked this as an important question from this chapter, because that's the only question that has a potential to come for 3 or 4 marks. 10 stages are there. So you can go through right from seeking the management's approval, convincing them, saying that it's financially viable, and from there upgradation and maintenance. 10 stages, you have to take that question. And section 43 of the IT is nothing but a list of offences which also are there. 10 offences are there in that, for which penalty and compensation for creating damage to computer system and computer network is also a question down there. So all these are I think the RTP is very easy. Don't just go by the RTP's questions. I think you have to go figure out more. Every chapter has 2 questions, a definite possibility in the exam, and chapter 3 and chapter 4, since they are bigger in size, maybe 1 extra question can come from each of them. So a very fairly simple RTP is being designed. Those of you who have time can always do the May 20 RTP also. Why have time? I am telling you, you should definitely do it. So there is no way how you kind of ignore that. It's always better that you can try and do that as well. Now, so that's the part of EIS. Now let's move on to the SM part, where I have 15 multiple choice questions again. So I want all of you to participate to make it more interesting. Even if you go wrong, this is a chance to learn. I guess at least 10 questions are there, not 15, 10 are there. So please scroll through the RTP once again, but the RTP sounds, as I told you, fairly simple. So be prepared for a little more Answers are straight out of the book, so no tension. Yes, let's go with the strategic management thing. I want you to see the case study here. Again, they'll give a lot of things in case study, but the questions are pretty into the system. So please, along with me, read, and then I want all of you to participate and answer. So yeah, let's read the case study now. So Connect Private Limited, a Mumbai-based company, Connect Private Limited, a Mumbai-based company is launching a smartphone under the brand name of Poppy. Okay, the company recognizes plethora of options, that is wide range of options that customers have from Chinese manufacturers. Okay, that seems like a problem right now, flooding with smartphone landscape. With recent COVID-19, now you can see that these kind of interesting cases are developed. They already brought in COVID-19 into the exam situation. With COVID-19 pandemic hurting the global sentiment towards Chinese products, company plans to play on a patriotic card and advertise Poppy as a Desi smartphone. Now, a lot of people have already started doing that. Most products that like the anti-Chinese sentiment is very visible. You can see that a lot of people have stopped using Chinese smartphones and they're looking for local ones in every sector. And to add to that, our central government has also introduced Atmanirbhar Bharat, where a lot of manufacturing units have started producing something which earlier used to be brought in from China. So that way, okay, we are in a downtrend because things have not settled that great, but we are looking for a V-shaped recovery. As you see, if you are following the news, business news, they generally keep using this term called a V-shaped recovery, which just means that we were at a point, we come hit the rock bottom and then we will go up. Our economy is slated to get that, but anyway, that's all out of our context right now. There are several indicators for things doing good, not doing good. Now, if you see the stock markets in the last 1 week, they have for all days been in red. That means that there's a lot of sell-off that has happened. Banks are not performing very well, but it will all come to a stage from where again the economy will boom, because we have potential. It's like still not settled. Transportation is not opened up in full extent. Unlocks are not 100%. But now globally, the second wave of pandemic has also started. Some countries in the Europe have announced, the second leg of lockdowns, and the US presidential elections are coming. So there are a lot of points globally and locally which kind of shape up to all this. Having said that, so you can expect a real practical case study to come this time. So here is that. So strategic arm of the company undertook industry analysis and reported that budget phone segment was overtaken by Chinese brands completely. However, the low segment of smartphones was still open for exploring. The company planned to launch two models, Poppy A and Poppy B, priced at 4499 and 5499. And the company is also aware that their product can easily be imitated. Now, the very fact that they are telling this, it should trigger you that differentiation. If there is any differentiation, that can be stopped only by lack of imitability. But here, in the case they are giving, that it can be easily imitated. The company is also aware that their product can easily be imitated at the same cost as well as price, and that, thus, a very essence of their product can be lost. A team of marketing professionals was hired to tackle this issue. The solution they suggested was to make sure that they have first mover advantage. I hope you've known these words from your book. Being Intel had the first mover advantage in making processors, and they still enjoyed. Nobody comes close to Intel in that because they started very early. It's called the first mover advantage by spending huge sum of advertising and promotion. Based on sound consciousness and competition for huge money backed international players, smartphone covers and accessories with some Desi tag along with Poppy smartphones were also kind of thought of. This shall help mitigate the risk of completely being thrown out of business. Consequently, they invested a fairly good amount in manufacturing of these accessories. The investors made it an objective for the team to reach an annual sales volume of 15,000 handsets and 70,000 pieces of accessories. However, Poppy A and Poppy B did not receive the much anticipated response, and the leadership decided to reduce the scope and focus purely on accessories business going forward. With a new focus on accessories, the Desi tag will still play an important role in its success. This shall reduce their per unit cost, thus eliminating new entrants, which is a barrier to new entrant due to extremely competitive pricing. Okay, so they told you a big case study and they brought in COVID-19 into the case study. They did whatever possible to attract your attention. Now we have questions coming up from that, and as usual, I expect you guys to answer that. Let's see the first question. Connect Private Limited entered a saturated market of smartphones. After a due market study of understanding the competitive landscape, put the below steps in correct sequence. Of understanding the competitive landscape. So I hope you know what is competitive landscape. 7 points are there, but right now they gave only 4. Understanding competitors, determining strength and weaknesses, identify the competitors, put all information gathered together. So those are the 4 points. What is the order? I think in a minute you should be able to give the answer if you identify the first step correctly. What is the first step? If you know the first step, then you will get this answer very, very easily. Okay, I'm yet to see the answers. Come on. So the correct option will be yes. How are people able to give the answer so quickly? Because it's very simple. The first step should be identify the competitors, and that is step number 3. Now in your options, how many of the options start with step number 3 in the first place? Only one, which is B. That's how you can easily figure out. Understood? So I want 3 to be in the first place, and there are no other options. That's it. I don't even have to look for the other options. But don't do that. You can take your half a minute's time, read carefully in the exam and do it. Second question. Annual sales volume as an objective by the investors was crucial to establish. In which stage of strategic management are annual objectives especially important? Annual objectives. How much should I achieve every year? In which stage of strategic management will that be very important? Formulation, control, evaluation or implementation? Okay, answers to question number 2. No, my A is not the answer. Okay, you're getting carried away with the wordings. All of you who are answering A, it's wrong. You don't set up annual objectives. Annual objectives are performance targets in terms of numbers. And that annual objectives be achieved in implementation. Okay. So, the answer to the second bit is D, not A. Some of you are getting carried away with the thing. Yeah, because there is a lot of fighting between A and D. The answer is D. Annual objectives are in terms of numbers. How will you know annual to that extent? While formulating a strategy, you can't set up annual objectives, right? That's the correction that you have to make. Don't make that mistake next time. Let's move on to question number 3 here. Question number 3 and 4. Following the sales numbers reported at the end of the year, the leadership took a serious strategic standpoint to move forward and shift to a new core business which is more profitable. Under which of the category the following business strategy can be categorized? Think carefully. Sales numbers they saw, they didn't like it, so that's why they dropped Poppy and went off to accessories. What is that strategy called as? I think that's a fairly easy one. Everybody will get this one right is what I'm hoping. Question number 3, the answer is question number 3, the answer is okay, what is the real problem here? Why do I see? Question number 3, the answer is the dropping a failed product. What is it called? Dropping a failed product is called retrenchment, guys. How is it diversification? You are dropping a failed product, no, that's called retrenchment. So the answer to the third question is A. I think you should work back on these things. Okay, at least let's tell fourth one correctly because it's very easy. After getting results from market, accessories business of the company can be classified under which? After getting the results, and you know that accessories are performing very well, then it can be classified as which one? I hope to see correct answers. Question number 4. After getting results from the market, accessories business of the company can be classified under which category? No, again everybody is getting carried away. Come on. People are getting carried away here. What is the definition of a star? What's the definition of a star, guys? Star is something where in a high growth rate market, you have a highly successful product. Now a lot of people have changed their answers and made it C. Okay, you should understand star is both when they are high. Now phone market is fully saturated. Sometime back, do you remember reading that line or not? When in a saturated means what? Or there is low growth rate. Even in a low growth rate market, if you are a highly successful business, you're called a cash cow, guys. Growth and share are high, Noma. Share is high, but market growth rate is not high. In a saturated market, where is growth rate high? Why did they give you the case study? Miss Pavitra. See, you're saying growth and share are high. No. Your market share is high because you gained a good amount of thing in your accessories business. But it's already a saturated market. So it's a low to high situation. It's a cash cow. It's not a star. These are small things that you have to analyze and then give the answer in the exam. When both are high, it is called a star. How is it high? You saw that there is a saturated market. Correct? That's the reason you have to, pay attention. And the last question down here is, in the second phase of shifting of business focus to peripheral accessories, Connect Private Limited has planned setting up entry barriers to potential competitors. Which of the following barrier have they planned to implement? Capital requirement, product differentiation, access to distribution channel, and economies of scale. The four are all four are barriers to the new entrants only, but in the case that we studied, which one tends to be the answer is the question that they are asking. It's also quite easy. If you remember the case, when I read the case in the last paragraph of the case, I said, okay, somebody is with a handle name ABC. Right. Come on guys, what's the answer? Okay, I can see a couple of right answers. No, Swati, it's not A. How is it A? Capital requirement. But they said they can't produce at your price. Where is that case? Why did I read the case? Just for my satisfaction or what? I said look at the last. They need to ensure creation of strong barriers for entry. This shall reduce the per unit cost. How will they reduce the per unit cost? Only when they achieve economies of scale. So already they are in the market and they have established economies of scale. So even if new players come in, they won't be able to achieve that. So the answer to this question is D, economies of scale. Okay, I just see some people are not attentive. That is the only challenge. Otherwise, nothing else. So please be little focused. 5 more questions are there in terms of multiple choice. Question number 2 says, Velvet Limited is a full service airline. The company is making up following decisions. Should a no frills, low fare subsidiary be set up? Or if it is set up, how should the cabin staff be recruited? Okay, 2 questions. Should there be a subsidiary set up? Whatever be the subsidiary. For a company, should we set up a subsidiary? Or how should cabin staff be recruited? 2 questions. Which of the decision is taken by a corporate level manager? It's a straight arrow guys, come on. Which of them is a decision taken by a corporate level manager? I hope everybody can answer this one. Question number 2. Okay, now I see. Yes, very easy, very simple. I can see the answers. Very good. The answer is yeah, A. Very easy, only one. We're talking about a subsidiary will be the job of a corporate level manager. If it's to do anything with business level, then they will talk about recruitments and other things. Okay, very good. Then moving on to the third question. Training company operates network of accounting training centers throughout Europe, US and Australia. The business intends to enter developing markets. The business intends to enter developing markets in order to drive the growth and has now decided to enter India, which is 7,500 kilometers from the training company's UK headquarters. The board suggested that it will require extremely focused management information to move into India. Which of the following should be taken into consideration that the board should consider while implementing the strategy? Key local rivals, their strengths and weaknesses, courses suitable for this particular market, and timing of the courses. What are the public holidays, religious festivals, etc. to be avoided? Or should you consider all these, all the above? Which of the following are the factors the board should? So before coming into India, what are the factors they should consider? Seems again to be a fairly simple question. Answers for question number 3. Can we see some answers to question number 3? Answers to question number 3. Okay, why are people stuck with A? Yeah, A no doubt is a point, but I guess these two are also very relevant. The answer is D, guys. It should be all of those. Why should you get stuck to only one of them? So it's all the above. Okay, this is a very easy question, but you need your concentration. Get Well Soon Limited is a health provider and has only large edge of town hospitals. It is considered setting up additional small city center clinics capable of treating less serious day cases. Which of the following will fall under strategic implementation? They are a big chain of hospitals. They want to come down and set up clinics for solving day cases. So if their idea is to bring in clinics to solve day cases, what would be their parameter is a question. Okay. Acquiring and fitting out clinics, hiring and or transferring staff, that is new staff or maybe transferring the hospital, publicity so that patients know where and when to go, and liaison with, that is to join hands with the general practitioners and main hospitals so that people are diverted. Which of these four steps seem to be the task for strategy implementation? Okay, I'm sorry, yeah. Looks like an easy one. Okay, I think many of you are getting right. D, yes, everybody has to, yes, it's all four. You have to do all the four steps. That's absolutely right. Okay, I think we are ending on a very good note. Yes, we have to do all those four steps. And let us now move on to questions 5 and 6. Two more questions here. Okay, I guess you know this one. Straight and simple. Everybody can answer question number 5. Who searched for a business opportunity and starts a new enterprise is called employee, entrepreneur, intrapreneur and investor. Okay, I think that gives up. You have a topic in your book which talks about entrepreneur and intrapreneur. So straight away you can rule out options A and D. I did 50% help for you. I did the 50-50 task. So is it B or C? That's the question, and I hope I already can see answers for the fifth one. Do we see answers the fifth one? Yes, in big numbers, without any hesitation, people are answering it to be B, which is the correct answer. Fantastic. Okay, so moving on to the last question. Niche strategy. Niche strategy. You know what niche is, right? A target market. Niche strategy is the best way to enter which market? Okay, I don't think I should tell you the answer. In a minute I will tell you, but what's your answer? Niche market is the best way to enter. Niche market is the best way to enter. Okay, I see a lot of correct answers again. Very good. Answer to question number 6 is C. Niche market will always be for matured markets. Market penetration will be a great strategy for entering a full market, and diversification is a term that we will use for new markets. Okay, that's pretty good. That's how questions are. A little tricky, guys. You need strong hold on the concepts, otherwise it will be a big guesswork to do in the exam. So please make sure that you study well when you are studying the contents. Then only when you want to understand and study and get marks, then only you can, otherwise it will be quite difficult. So again, the RTP is not a big difficulty. Let us now scroll through the questions, these are like straight from the book questions, so I don't have much of a problem dealing with this. limitations of strategic management, strategy proactive, reactive. It's a first chapter's couple of questions. Role of Adl Matrix. Now, Adl Matrix is a very less asked question when it comes to the exams. They can definitely ask you the other three. BCG, ANSOF and GE model. They can definitely ask you. Write short note on ADL. You can always do that. It's an introductory. They didn't ask you to draw the ADL. They asked you to write a short note. You can always do that. Highlight and explain the core competence of the retail chain. You got to study what the retail chain does. Core competence is a topic from the second chapter which has, it's a unique strength that the organization has and its ability. Value chain analysis is an interesting concept from that chapter. You can always look for it. Draft vision and mission statements. It's easy to draft vision and mission statement. Vision is a far-sighted idea. Mission is a present day's business scope. This is a straight out of the book question. What is strategic decision making and who's a strategic manager? I mean, like, they're not asking much of any practical questions here. What is divestment strategy and how is it adopted? Straight. Okay, yeah, this one seems to be a question, corporate level strategy. Let's see. General public is discreening from buying air conditioning units based on health ministry guidelines during the viral pandemic. They made the full use of pandemic. Consequently, Nebula Private Limited, a manufacturer of evaporation coils used in the air conditioner, has faced a significant loss in working capital. The company conducted financial assessment and developed a workable action plan based on short and long term. I guess by then itself you were able to understand it's part of a retrenchment. It's a turnaround strategy. It includes selling scrap, asset liquidation. All these are steps of the turnaround strategy. So this is how you read a full question and identify which strategy that is. And then they said identify. So identify means it's a turnaround strategy. You should say the company Nebula Private Limited has adopted a turnaround strategy, and then how 5 steps of turnaround has to be explained. Okay, then let's look at question 15 from chapter 5. That is also kind of interesting. Airlines industry in India is highly competitive with several players. They face severe competition and all. Luxury Jet is a private Delhi-based company with fleet size of 9 small aircrafts. Okay, with seating capacity ranging between 6 to 9 seats. That means they're chartered flights. These their aircrafts are chartered by big business houses and high net worth individuals. 6 to 9 seats chartered flights. Those are the people who hire them. Their aircrafts are, for their personal use. With customized tourism packages, their aircrafts are often hired by foreigners. Okay, whatever is like, see, they're asking you identify and explain the Michael Porter's generic strategy followed by a luxury jet. Now, cost leadership, differentiation and focus. You know who these people are targeting. They're targeting only one section of a society. High net worth individuals and business houses. So you know what the answer is. And then they ask you to differentiate between cost leadership and differentiation. So straight. This one talks about which product promotion technique was used by Mr. Verma. So this case, let's see. Mr. Vicky Verma, a Gwalior-based entrepreneur, has entered an exclusive retail deal with an Italian company. And what did he do? This resulted in produced a total of 500 units of the product and paid upfront as the seller's policy. This resulted in blocking of his working capital and the shipment is expected in a month. Meanwhile, his continued efforts of establishing relation with marketing heads of corporates resulted in a series of meetings where he demonstrated his specialist product knowledge by changing the hologram images and all that. Okay. The management of a big automotive company was impressed with the quality and adaptability of the product and awarded a contract of 125 units to be displayed in the automaker's showrooms. So this goes by sales promotion. So you just are supposed to write about sales promotion. How would you argue that R&D people are important for effective strategic implementation is straight out of the question from the book. Then organizational leadership, which question they asked is about which type of organizational structure 8 structures are there. The question is to identify which structure, transactional and transformational leadership styles, Richard Rummel's criteria for audit, and H.C. Kelman's 3 methods for reassigning new patterns. Now you know that Kurt Levin's change process is there with unfreezing, changing and refreezing. As part of changing, 3 steps are there which are given by H.C. Kelman, okay, which are in the nature of identifying a role model for yourself and all that. So all the answers are also given here. They're all straight out of the book. Maybe you have to write kind of these things: compliance, identification, internalization, Richard Rummel's criteria, the hourglass structure. All these are, and transactional and transformational leadership style. So please go through the questions of the RTP towards the end. That shouldn't be a big attention for you. But what you need to have is a thorough understanding of the fundamentals. Okay. So that's what we have in your RTP for this attempt. Not much difficult, at the same time not so easy looking one. So please finish your syllabus one round and then get back to the RTP, do it again. Maybe you should also consider doing the May 2020 RTP. And this Sunday there's a big live session coming up on audit reports. The 7 series audit reports. What are the 7 series of audit reports, and what about Company Auditors Report Order 2016? So a big live session coming up on this Sunday, the 27th. Timing should be around 4:30. Will be informed. So stay tuned, and you will get the update. And make sure that you share it with the others, so that, like last week we did the big session on company audit. I mean, this week it shouldn't go that long, but this will, a big session coming up this Sunday on audit reports and Caro. So last Sunday session and this Sunday session put together will be worth 15 to 20 marks on an average in every attempt. So don't, kind of, those of you who haven't done the company audit yet, please go and do it, and let the others also know about it. And Sunday we will catch up with a very big session on audit reports and company auditors report order. I'll see you in my next live session. Till then, please study well, to take care of yourself and pick up whatever points you couldn't today, pick up on them well, and make sure that you work on them. Okay, all the best and good night.